An update from Bowman U Chrome 2022. The Bryce Young Superfractor has been pulled. We'll touch on that. Audio music grading is here. A grading company run by Steve Aoki. We definitely got to talk about that. Tops and Fanatics also just had their industry conference. Tons of news coming out of that conference in Arizona. And another crazy mystery box hit from Walmart of all places. Everything that we're going to be talking about today on DCI Podcast, episode 39. What is up, everybody? Welcome into DCI Podcast, episode number 39. I am your host, Grayson. Alongside me, always, is DCI Grading's head of grading, Jason Dardig. Jason, first off, I think our setup here is a little bit different today.
Yeah,
we've got something real nice sitting here in front
really
of us.
Really nice.
On the set.
I have never been more proud to bring a product to the market, and I know we've touched on this for the last probably year now since the last Mint Collective, but they are here, guys, right in front of us. We've got about 50 fresh off the press DCI Slabs ready to head out right after the show to some of our loyal supporters who got their cards in early. They are here. They are shipped out, shipping out, but they are ready to go. They are awesome. Showing off a DCI 9 and a DCI 10. We've got an autograph you can see an example of, some Chrome cards, paper stock. Man, these slabs are slick. I cannot wait for them to start getting into people's hands and hitting the market, because I know for a fact, as somebody who's been in the hobby for as long as I have, that this is an outstanding product, and the market is just going to react extremely well to it.
That's well said. And guys, that's right. DCI Slabs are here. They are on set right now with Jason and I. If you submitted cards at any point over the last couple of months for those early submissions, you're going to be getting these bad boys in your mailbox first before anybody else. We are so proud to be able to bring these to the market to everybody, to shake up the grading industry a little bit with just an amazing slab, man. I mean, I love the way it stacks. I love the way that it's got the frosted kind of gold layer to it. The label looks very clean as well. You guys are really going to be impressed with the security features on that. As you can see, we got the DCI 10 and 9 sitting in front of us. Just a big stack of fresh slabs, hot off of the press here.
Literally hot off the press. These finished coming out of the Sonic Welder, I think, less than 10 minutes before the podcast. So they are as fresh as they get, guys. Big Sexy Brad
polycarbonate
has been slabbing away 24 hours a day. I don't know if that guy has slept all week, but we are cranking orders out. We really want to just say thank you to everybody who sent in again for those pre-orders. You again are going to be the first ones to benefit again from this awesome product that we spent so long tinkering with, customizing and developing over the last 18 months to bring a product with no cut corners to the market. And that's exactly what's sitting in front of us here on the table today, and is the reason I'm so proud to attach my name to it, but also the DCI name to it, and get these things into people's hands as fast as possible. And I just know the reaction is going to be a home run, like I said.
We hope you guys are just as excited as we are here in the office to get these into your hands and into the market for the very first time. All you early bird submitters, please let us know on our social media how you feel about the slab. Start posting them up. Tag us, guys. We want to know what you guys think about these. We're proud of them. We think that they look great, and we're sure that you guys are going to think the same thing. Also, guys, as we continue to get into the show here, episode number 39, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube if that's where you're watching this episode today. And if you're listening on any platform like Spotify, Apple Music, where you like to listen to your podcast, we just appreciate you for tuning in to the DCI Podcast. But Jason, definitely, just exciting times here at DCI, getting the ability to just have these on set for the first time, showing these off to you guys. It's going to be great to see these, hit eBay and see them at card shows and in people's cases for the first time. It's exciting stuff.
Having them here in person, I'd been privy to the design process, and I had a really good idea of what to expect throughout the whole design process, grading, and as we kind of developed the slab, things like that. I'd been hands-on, so I really thought I knew what to expect, and every single time a new prototype has gotten here, or the labels get here, we're starting to get orders out. The welder, all these steps that we're taking throughout this process, every single time we've kind of made that next step or reached that next, progress level, I've been mind blown at the quality of the product. And again, I feel like I know how much hard work and time and effort have gone into these. And so I was expecting them to just be awesome. Right. And then again, the final product as it sits here is overwhelming, and it's better than what I had envisioned. Even as somebody in the hobby, again, with the hobby experience that I've had, especially in grading, slabs, all the different companies, this is a product that is, again, it's going to be
the hobby needs.
It's going to be
right
very
now.
well received.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely, guys. As slabs are coming in, that also means that RCRs at DCI are on their way out. So make sure you continue to take advantage of the RCR Farewell Tour. $3 mail-in RCRs are still going on. Also a great value, Jason, for anybody who, guys, you can get your cards RCR'd for $3 a pop and then turn around and get them slabbed up with the same number. I mean, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to take advantage of that. Those are mail-in only, guys. That ends on March 31st. Another huge promo that DCI's got going on as we continue to make this amazing transition into the slab game. And also, if you want to get in on the DCI slab movement, one of the best opportunities you're going to be able to do it is next weekend at the Dallas Card Show. Right. That is going to be amazing to be able to provide these and show these off real time for the very first time live at the Dallas Card Show, guys. It's going to be the perfect place to submit for DCI Slabs.
That's right. Hometown show, but really quick, just to circle back to the RCRs. Guys, that was our main service that allowed us to build our grading reputation for the slabs, right? That $3 RCR, you're getting the exact same review in terms of grading and condition that you would get with our slabs for the price of $3 a card. As Grayson was saying, it's a great way to send in a great big stack of cards, maybe rule out the ones that are 8s or below, and then take your best 50 or so and get them slabbed up with DCI. Now that the slabs are here, we're going to honor those grades. Send them on in. Let's get it done. Let's make some money. Done.
It's the same graders.
It's awesome.
It's the same quality.
It's the exact same grade scale. So
no difference there, guys.
Well, it's a no-brainer in my opinion.
Yeah, no-brainer, absolutely. Make sure you send them in, guys, until the end of March. RCR Farewell Tour, $3 a card, and that's about it right now, guys. DCI Slabs are here. It's exciting times here at DCI Grading. Let's go ahead and dive into our topics here today, Jason. I think we covered all the big stuff going on.
Absolutely.
It's just it's overwhelming.
It is.
Excitement.
I mean, it
really is.
It's again, it's been the last, and not to keep circling back to the slabs, but it's been,
I know you're excited, man.
24 hours a day for about the past 8 months. No lie. Slab, and how do we get these things to the market, and how do we make sure that not only can we provide value and accurate grading, but enter the market at a fair price point that is going to not only make sense for the protection of the slab and the material that you're getting, but also that the grading accuracy and things like that are consistent and stay the same, just like with our RCR. So
I love it. I freaking love it. And if you guys have any questions, you can also feel free to message us on social media or shoot an email to info@dcigrading.com. We would be happy to help you guys out with your submission process. All right, Jason, we talked about an interesting product last week for our first topic of the day here. It was 2022 Bowman U Chrome football. You and I were kind of talking about how we feel like it's a little bit undervalued, maybe even an underrated product that Topps brought to the table. Well, one of the product hits has already been hit, and it was the Bryce Young Superfractor 1/1 autograph. Wow. So I'm sure there's a base one as well, but the autograph version got pulled. And what's interesting about this is that there was already a bounty out for it. I think it was about $15,000 bounty out for this card. So boom, quick profit there for whoever pulled that guy, unless he's looking to keep it himself, which I wouldn't be surprised by. That's the card that I was searching for in that product when I ripped a box or two. I pulled a Jahmyr Gibbs auto, so I got an Alabama guy for the PC, but I was looking for Bryce Young. But that is awesome. You sent me the card. That's how I was able to learn about it. And I was like, dang, that thing is sweet.
I did.
But just a cool little update there about the product that we talked about last week on the show. One of the product hits has been hit.
So after we did the podcast, I actually learned about the bounty. A big time collector out there, his name's Shine150.
It's Shine that put the bounty on it?
So
of
Shine,
course he did.
Yep, so Shine put the bounty out there for both the Bryce Young and the CJ Stroud Superfractor.
Okay.
So there's actually 2 bounties. I don't know if the Stroud has surfaced yet. I don't think it has. I haven't seen anything of it.
And I know the other product guys, Caleb Williams, he's got some of his first autos in that product as well. So that's another guy that a lot of people are looking for. But I didn't know it was Shine that put the bounty out until just now. So 15, that's really cool.
$15K for those 2 1-of-1s. And like you said, the Bryce Young is off the board. So I think whoever pulled that card is absolutely going to sell it for $15,000.
It's not bad for about $120 box.
I mean, seriously, that's awesome. 150x on your money.
Yeah,
I mean,
can't be mad about that.
No, off 1 card. Come on.
Yeah,
but it's a fun product. I know you had said that you ripped a box, and I saw some hits over the weekend when we were in San Antonio. Brad ripped a box as well. Again, now that I've seen the product, I thought it was a good price point for knowing last year's set. It's chrome stock. You're going to get parallels and autographs. It is collegiate. However, this year it's licensed. I think the quality of the product, it's Topps Chrome. It's chrome stock. Right now we've got the college licensing. We've got all the autos, and it's a good class with not only just the first Bowman guys, but like Caleb Williams, but the second and third years like the Bryce Young, CJ Strouds.
Yep.
I do think that at $120 to $150 a box even, you can rip this and profit.
Yeah, of course.
However,
it's not going to happen. Of course, it's not going to happen with every box. Like, you know, it always is. But like you said, I mean, look at that. Like, one of the Superfractors and you're going to 150 extra money. Like, you can't be mad about that.
No, and there aren't a lot of products that you could pay $100 to $150 a box and hit anything in the entire product that could happen. Right. So kudos to Shine for saying, hey, I'm willing to spend this much money because I believe on the product or the player. But also, that, they always say the rising tide carries all boats, right? So if the number 1 card in the set from last year, let's just say it was a $5,000 card, and this year it's a $15,000 card, well, that market has grown, and that's a good sign.
Absolutely. And Shine's a big collector. He's a respected collector, in the hobby. So for somebody like that to be interested in the product in that nature, I think is also very encouraging for a lot of people who are thinking about ripping it.
Right. I completely agree. And I think it's a fun product. We saw again some of it and at the show, and I've seen a bunch online. But yeah, the big one is gone. Bryce Young 1-of-1 auto.
For all you Bama fans, roll Tide out there, but it's off the board.
It's off the board. That's right.
So. Hey, I mean, that is hit cool up Shine if you want to maybe steal it from him. Maybe you offer him $20K for it. And
that's exactly right.
But that's awesome. I just thought, we would start the show with touching on that, something that we talked about last week, the product itself, and, to see one of the bigger hits get pulled. That's always cool to see. You and I are always sending each other, huge cards that are getting pulled, and we're always just like, man.
Well, you had the good luck. You got to rip the hobby box over the weekend, the Bowman Chrome U. I wanted to pick a box up for us to maybe open up today, but I didn't have time. I wasn't able to get there, so
it's all good. We were too hyped about the slabs. Exactly. We had to give the slabs their moment,
proper day. Yep, that's exactly right.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, as that was a good one to start on. But Jason, normally, obviously at DCI Grading, we are a card grading company.
Yes.
So we're not really, no hate to our competition, but we're just not really here to talk about those guys.
Right.
But I would say that when I say first off that there's a new grading company coming to, the hobby, or I guess you could say, just the world in general,
people are going to roll their eyes.
Are they about to talk about a competitor here on the show? Well, not necessarily. As Steve Aoki, the music producer, a guy who is, he was in that documentary Behind the Card, and he's been in the hobby for the last couple of years, has gone on social media recently and announced that he has created his own grading company, but it doesn't grade cards.
Thank
gosh. It's the first company. A grading company to grade music products. It is called Audio Media Grading. They are partnering with Collective Archive Services, CAS Grading, and they are going to be grading vinyl, CDs, 8-tracks, and
super cool.
Yeah, just all the physical music products that you can get. You will now be able to grade those things through Audio Media Grading. It is the first grading company of its kind to grade music and media products, and he already showed some examples on social media as well in the announcement video that he put up, and just really interesting stuff in terms of the grading world, Jason. I mean, movies and video games can
Right.
already be graded through some companies, but now we've got vinyl and music to the table in the world of grading.
Super cool. I think, like you just said, comic books, movies, VHS, DVDs, things like that, computer games, video games that we've kind of seen start to get graded. Not that they weren't graded originally in the past, but
I think you can
kind
even
of been
grade
a
Funko
more,
Pops now in some companies.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
it's not necessarily a surprise that this is being brought to the table, but the fact that Steve Aoki is kind of the one behind it all obviously is going to bring a lot of attention to it.
Absolutely. And I just think I was going to say, I think it's a great idea. Any tangible object that has, is tied to a certain year, right? A release date of a movie, a release date of a CD, you know what I mean? Things like that. Just like the release of a card, it's somebody's rookie year. It's their first CD. It's their first vinyl. Or you've got, if you're going to build the rainbow, you build their whole, music collection.
Their whole catalog.
Right, exactly. Their whole catalog. So I think there's a lot of really cool ways to go about it. I know a lot of high-end collectors really tend to gravitate towards like show played instruments, you know what I mean? Or guitars that are played by Jimi Hendrix, things like that. Mm-hmm. I think this will just kind of be another avenue in that space of, original movie posters or guitars or whatever it may be, but more tied to that year. And then again, the condition based on how many examples are out there, scarcity, supply and demand. I just think it's a great idea,
Now
especially coming from an expert in the field like
sure.
Steve Aoki, it would be different. And I thought this is where you were going at first when you said another grading company. I thought, oh great, I'm going to roll my eyes, another grading company, right?
Right.
Just what the hobby wants to hear. But this is very cool, and it sounds like they've approached it the right way. It's not just some pop-up grading company, right? Yeah. They've got experts in the field leading the way. But yeah, I think the product or the service itself totally makes sense.
Yeah, and the fact that he's partnering with Collective Archive Services, if you don't know anything about them, they, I believe, are kind of in the realm of they've graded and sort of authenticated like toys and things like of that nature. So it's very cool to see that he's not just doing this out of the clear blue sky, even like just under his own power and maybe hiring a bunch of random graders or something. He's partnered with, a very respected grading company that is in sort of this field that's grading pop culture items already and has experience with it. So I feel like it's something that personally I would trust right off the bat. Like if my interest is there, okay, but now can I trust the grading? I think you could with something like this. I don't think anybody should feel skeptical about it. I don't think Steve Aoki is going to put his brand and his face on anything that he didn't feel like was well put together. And so really interesting stuff. I know I originally saw it on Card Porn's channel, but I'm sure if you follow Steve Aoki on social media, you could see it there as well. But like again, check out some of the examples. Let us know in the comments what you think about audio media grading coming from the Steve Aoki team. Let us know. Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's weird? Do you think it's not really going to have any impact? We want to know,
My thought would be I'm definitely going to buy stuff that I think is cool. I just don't know how, and again, maybe I'm wrong, you know what I mean? And maybe we look back on this episode in 10 years and I'm like, man, I should have gone and bought all of those, CDs
all
and DVDs
those,
and like whatever, but I have trouble like, I don't know, in assigning value to those. And it makes no sense because like my cards are the same way. Right. But like, I don't know why.
It's going to be difficult, I think, to obviously like set the market
pop culture,
a little
like
bit on it.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see the market.
And another thing too is, a lot of, people have issues with a card slab being too big to carry around. You know?
How
are you going to be carrying around vinyl that's graded? And it's just going to be a little bulky. I think would maybe be like if we're playing devil's advocate here and just trying to think of some negatives. I think the CD thing. The CDs, that could be something I see maybe taking off a little bit harder than the vinyl does.
Just because they're so much smaller.
It's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit easier to just have a stack of them, sort of like you do with cards.
Right.
But, another thing I want to mention is my wife, she's into vinyl right now. And she's, she just likes to collect and that she's got her little thing going. When I mentioned this to her, I was like, do you think you would grade some vinyl? And she's like, I don't know. But she goes, honestly, this doesn't really give me the best vibe as somebody who buys vinyl, like at others. Because she's like, now I feel like I'm going to go to the stores I like to go buy vinyl at, and it's all going to be gone because people are trying to grade it instead of listening to the music. And I feel like it's going to drive, she thinks that the supply demand may take a little bit of time to adjust. And I think that's a fair concern if it does end up taking off a little bit harder than maybe these record stores anticipate. But at the same time, I told her, I was like, look, at the end of the day, it's more people being interested in music and vinyl, and I think that that's nothing but a positive, and it'll adjust, if all the records are gone from wherever, movie trading company or Best Buy or wherever, or a record store, wherever you like to buy, your records, I'm sure they'll adjust, and I'm sure they'll just be like, oh, wow, more people are buying vinyl. I guess we got to get more in here.
Right.
Or CDs or whatever it is. So
it's the same thing that happened with Target, and Walmart during the boom of sports cards, and now they have so much stuff sitting on the shelf that they can't get rid of it. Yeah. And they give it to you at a discount, and you pull green Pulsars to 25 all day long. See? Yeah. And then eventually she'll be able to go back and get all of her records and just listen to them.
I just thought it was an interesting point, because I didn't think about that at first. I was like, you're right. It'll probably take some time, like if it does blow up, for the stores to adjust to that. But like you said, it happened with cards. It'll happen with music too, if that becomes the case. But really interesting stuff. You don't see something like that in the grading world popping up very often, something unique like this. And again, Steve Aoki, big name. So definitely worth talking about.
Definitely worth keeping an eye on. One of my favorite topics that we're going to get into that we were talking about prior to the episode is all the stuff that's coming out of the TOPS industry conference.
Yes. Let's go ahead and just dive right into that then.
Yeah. I was going to say a lot of that stuff that has been coming out, from some of the from TOPS themselves, but also some of the
some of the bigger names in the hobby, like Sports Card Investor has been posting a ton of stuff about it, and some of the other influencers that were there, they've been obviously posting and talking about everything that
I'm jealous.
It
looks like
are
fun.
Talking about there.
I want to go.
And have you seen some of those silver packs that they're
Dude,
getting?
I know.
Oh man, they are getting. I know you're a baseball guy. They are pulling some fire out of those silver packs.
So before we get into this, I have to tell a story real quick. One time in 2019, I joined a break with Cheap Fun Breaks, who's still on YouTube. My man Houdini. He was breaking a Transcendent baseball case, so a $30,000 product. I bought one spot for $500, and I hit the Ken Griffey Jr. Transcendent VIP party invite.
Wow.
Right? So I was going to be able to go to TOPS, one of their big events, and go meet Ken Griffey Jr. and take batting practice and get all these silver packs and stuff.
Right.
But I was only into the spot for about $450, and I sold the Ken Griffey Jr. invite for north of $5,000. And so I needed the money as a kid back then, and I will never look back. But every time I see one of these TOPS events, I kick myself and thinking, man, I could have had so much fun and probably gotten some awesome cards and made some money.
Would have been a really a memorable experience.
For sure.
But I mean, in terms of keeping the money moving, man.
Exactly. And again,
you can't be mad at again, like whatever, 5X in your money there or something like that. Like
more than that. But again, I never look back on things like that, or I try not to dwell on them, because, I get the hobby allows me to pay my bills and live my life, which is all I can ask for. So
sometimes you gotta make the tough
I know
decisions,
that's right, man. But every time,
but that is a cool story.
I was seeing these videos on social media, and I was like, man, that could have been me 3 years ago at Chase Field, just hitting batting practice with Ken Griffey.
Yep. So this year was at Chase Field. I don't know if it's at Chase Field every year in Arizona,
I don't think it is.
But it was there this year, and so I will, I'll give him his credit. Sports Card Investor is the guy who's been posting, I feel like, more about it than everybody else. So this is kind of where we've heard a majority of the rumors. So, shout out to Sports Card Investor for, keeping
Jeff's been on our podcast a couple times.
Yeah, we did get to interview him on the DCI podcast, so that was really cool. Very nice guy. So shout out to him for, keeping the hobby updated about what's going on at the conference. So I want to talk about some of the big things that we've been hearing. So the CEO of Fanatics was there to talk about some of the stuff that they're bringing to the table. First off, some things that I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of here or there. They're improving customer service. They're trying to get rid of redemptions. Who knows how long those things will take. We're hoping everybody is maybe able to improve those things going forward. But some of the really big stuff that they talked about is, the first one is, I don't know how much we're going to be able to talk about this, but apparently one of the biggest product releases in a generation. This is quotes from what we've heard.
Yeah.
Is going to be announced sometime next month. They did not talk about what it is, but that was
just
how
a huge
it was
teaser.
described.
That's right.
One of the biggest product releases in a generation is supposedly coming out sometime next month from Topps and Fanatics. I have no idea
what that even
could
mean.
possibly
Yeah.
be. Do you have any clue?
No clue.
What maybe they could be bringing to the table?
Literally no clue. I would almost say that it's some, other sport that Topps maybe used to be, like a Topps basketball set or something like that. I have no idea.
The only
Topps
thing
hockey,
I could think is
I
like
have no
maybe
idea.
some sort of card memorabilia crossover.
It could be anything.
Something like that.
Right.
The possibilities are endless on what that can mean.
So that's going to be cool.
That's going to be really cool. So definitely we're all keeping an eye out for what the heck that is next month. But some of the other stuff they talked about is that the Big League Baseball
This
product
was my favorite one.
that's coming out either about a month or two from now. Supposedly, for the first time in the hobby, they're going to be having some special redemption cards where supposedly some of the biggest players in the league, guys like Mike Trout and Ronald Acuna Jr. were some of the examples they brought up. It'll be a special redemption card where the player will be able to follow you on Instagram.
Crazy.
That is absolutely wild.
Super
I gotta
cool.
give a shout out to Fanatics.
It's a great idea
for that innovative idea. What do you think about that as a guy who does a lot of your hobby stuff on social media?
I love it. First of all, as a baseball guy, I love it for a number of reasons. I think it's cool to interact with athletes on social media, whether they're Mike Trout or Mark Trout, right? It doesn't matter who, as long as you're a pro baseball player. Like,
right.
I want to talk to you. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Or anybody. It's always fun to, when I see my friends post stuff, to go and go like their picture, go see their page, go see who our mutual followers are. And it'd be cool to see, hey, Brad is followed by Grayson, Mike Trout, Ronald Acuna. It's like, wait a second.
Right.
How did, my buddy Grayson and then Mike Trout, like, he's got 2 million or 5 million followers and Grayson's got 100. So, you know what I mean? It's like, how did that happen? You know what I mean?
And there's one of those, I think some of these players, they don't follow a lot of people.
No.
Right. So, and there's fans out there who they'll just go into who they're following and they follow them right back.
Exactly.
So I feel like this could be an interesting opportunity for, people who, again, like to try and build their following on social media in the hobby and stuff like that. That's sort of the, I guess, marketing benefit to it. But again, just the personal side of it to be like, man, Mike Trout follows me.
And that's the part I really like, because I think out of all of the major sports, the MLB does the worst job of promoting their superstars. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think Mike Trout is a generational baseball talent and is still underrated just by the general public. You know what I mean? Just because a lot of them don't get to watch Angels games. And I'm not saying the Angels are good or deserve to be on TV. Okay? But Mike Trout, Mike Trout should be in more commercials than he is. You know what I mean? That guy, things like that. And the MLB especially compared to the NBA and the NFL, the quarterbacks in the NFL, you see them on Gillette commercials, car commercials, everything. The NBA guys, you see them on Twitch and you see them on Twitter and you see them everywhere, right?
Yep.
I think that this is a great way for the MLB to connect its superstars with the social media generation.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point.
Yeah.
This should be, and I don't know they didn't really talk about how many of these redemption cards there might be in the product, how many people are going to be able to have this privilege. I imagine it's probably not going to be too many.
And this may be, and I assume it's this way, if I were to give the box to my dad and say, hey, there might be a card in here that if you pull it out, Ronald Acuna will follow you on Instagram. He'd be like, okay, it's a waste of my time.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
But people who are 30 and under think that that's awesome. And, those are the people that Topps is looking for to continue to grow their brand, right? The next generation of collectors.
I think that's also, again, another really good point. Yeah. Obviously, like some of the older guys, they're probably going to pull it and put that thing right on eBay or whatever.
Those guys probably aren't ripping big league anyways.
Yeah, but they'll probably be shocked at how much you might sell for it to somebody like you or me who's going after those types of cards. So really, really interesting.
Really cool
idea that they're going to be bringing to the Big League Baseball product. So that's releasing in a month or two.
And just so you know, Big League doesn't get enough respect. It's always one of those products, one of the first products of the year. Nothing crazy high end really, but for the box cost, $50 a box, can't go wrong.
And obviously, this is a little bit of a strategy for them to bring a little bit more value to that
and a great
product.
Rookie class this year.
We'll see if maybe they do that with other products like Stadium Club, which I think might be a little bit more of an underrated baseball product myself.
Love Stadium Club.
I think that is definitely a lot of really good points coming from a big baseball collector here. So,
but yeah, exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff there. Yeah. Another one
Tops.
that they're going to be doing is they're going to be, I don't think they talked about what products are going to be putting this in. I'm sure it'll be multiple, but you know, we've seen gloves, we've seen cleats, we've seen baseball bats, all types of stuff being put into cards. We've never seen bases be put into cards before. And now that's something apparently that Topps is also going to be bringing to the table. They're going to call it Moments That Matter, and they're going to be taking pieces of bases from different games and different moments, and you're going to see pieces of a base in a card for the first time as well, which is something really interesting.
It is very interesting. And again, I think all the relics you've mentioned before are also very cool. Topps always does a great job in the majority of their sets to put game used, player worn relics and things like that in there.
Right.
I think this is even another level. It's kind of like on the Panini Immaculate side of things, where not only are you getting a base that was used in a game, but they're going to tell you which game.
Yeah, I think that's
which
awesome.
moment and who touched the base, or
and
you know
that's
what I
something
mean?
that even Panini kind of dove into when we were ripping WWE Immaculate.
Yep.
They're telling you what event that
that
piece
relic
of
was from.
material was worn in or whatever. That type of stuff I think is really,
goes
really
a
cool.
long way.
I agree. I think it's those little touches that can just really spark something in the collector, because if they
Completely
go, wow,
agree.
I was at that game, or I watched that game on TV, whatever, that, like you said, those little touches, those little things, that's the type of stuff that I think the hobby really likes to see.
Yeah, and I think from a company standpoint, the first thing that they said that they were going to do was focus on the customer and, all of the redemptions, things like that. Well, I think, adding all of this stuff to the product, adding more value to the product, right? Reducing your print run, reducing some of the products that, don't sell, that don't necessarily need to get made every year. Bowman Chrome X.
Right.
You know what I mean? There are a few others that are getting dropped from Topps's release schedule. So scaling back on production just inherently adds more value, right?
Yep.
And then adding more chase cards, adding more, customer experiences, fan experiences.
Adding an interesting redemption to Big League Baseball,
right? Right. It's not like you're adding it to the most high-end set. You're adding it to one of the lowest-end sets.
Yeah, that could use a little bit of a boost there.
That's exactly right. And, I think it's a win-win for Topps. I think it helps their customer perception from, again, the person who's going to spend $50 a box or $5 a pack to somebody who's going to spend $5,000 to $50,000. Nobody likes to spend money and not feel like they got their value. And so I think that all of these changes help bring value to the collector. Something that we've tried to do here at DCI for a long time, but
definitely
now is just on the manufacturing side as well. It's kind of nice to see.
It is nice to see. Good stuff coming out of the Topps Industry Conference for the hobby. I'm sure a lot of collectors are excited about what's been talked about. And like we said, we're definitely going to keep an eye on whatever this generational product that's getting released next month, because that's definitely, I think, what really piqued everybody's interest, because that's big talk coming from Fanatics.
And hopefully we have more information like week by week as we approach this month, and we can give some teasers as we approach, and maybe just take some guesses.
Exactly, yeah. You and I are stumped, I feel like.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Right, I have no idea.
That makes me more excited to just hear what it might be. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive into our last topic of the day. And speaking of, I have no idea, kind of the idea behind that, mystery boxes, Jason. They are in the hobby.
Yes,
they are everywhere. They're on Whatnot. They're in breaks. They're on...
shelves at Walmart.
They're on eBay, and they are on shelves at Walmart. Walmart has, those mega mystery boxes. You've probably seen them. They have them in all different types of formats, where you get a random slab. They have them for not just sports, but they have them for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're just these random boxes that is put together by an outsourced company. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But they kind of get a lot of hate.
They do.
The
get a lot of
Walmart
hate.
ones especially get a lot of hate because 99% of the time they are junk.
Yes.
I mean, just to be blunt, they usually do not deserve the price point that Walmart puts on them. And but what they do is they put these crazy product hits on the front of them.
Right.
Oh, you can hit, a first edition Charizard.
Right.
You can get a Michael
Topps
Jordan,
Chrome.
slab rookie or whatever,
Right.
and One of the bigger ones, like more expensive ones they have, is called like the Supreme Mega Mystery Box, something like that. And I've seen it once or twice. It goes for, I think, like $150 a box
insane.
at Walmart. And the product hit has been a Steph Curry Topps Chrome rookie BGS 9.5.
Crazy.
And you would think, like, there's no way, if you've ever opened one of these, that they've actually put this card in here.
That's what I was going to say. There's no way, even if I bought the entire product run, if I bought every single box and opened every single box, like, I am fairly sure I'm not going to pull that card.
Well,
right?
We would be wrong.
We would be wrong. That's
because I believe it's Underrated Cards is his Instagram tag. Posted up a clip of him hitting the product hit, the Topps Chrome Steph Curry rookie BGS 9.5.
The exact card on the box.
Card. It's got the same serial number as the one on the box. It was the product hit for that Walmart mystery box. It got pulled.
It is crazy.
And not only pulled, but somebody in the hobby who posted about it.
Right, and it's good for him. First of all, congratulations.
I think he posted sales goes for about $13,000 to $15,000.
It's insane
for a $150 box. So I mean,
it's awesome.
Congratulations to Underrated Cards first and foremost. But despite how insane that is, it's not the first time, even in the last year or so, that an insane card has been hit out of one of these random mystery boxes.
We saw the Jordan PSA 8. Was one a few months back, and then
I know that there was a smaller one where it was like a Jonathan Taylor Prism rookie autograph silver, like PSA 10 that got pulled. But then there were some bigger ones. How about the LaMelo Ball Optic True Black 1 of 1?
Shout out to my friend.
That got pulled out of a Walmart mystery box.
That's right. Shout out to my friend Ryan's Cards for pulling that one out of a little mystery pack. It was one of those little tins that have like 2 or 3 packs of Optic retail packs.
Yeah, it's the one that you get 2 packs of Optic and 2 packs of Prism.
Crazy.
And that's where the True Black LaMelo came out of. And then also, I believe Ryan's Cards also was the one who hit the Zion Williamson. I think it was the Black Laser, 1 of 1 from NBA Hoops Premium out of one of the random mystery boxes where you just get a couple packs as well. I mean, unbelievable. Some of the stuff that comes out of these boxes that a lot of people see to be total junk.
And see, what I think, my understanding is the product releases, so 2021 Optic, right, releases. Yeah. People buy it up at retail. Whatever gets left over from the factory or from Walmart,
from the
retail
or whatever.
Right. Whatever's left over that isn't getting opened, it's sitting on shelves, blah, blah, blah. Some third-party company comes in, buys it all up, right? They pack it out, repack it, all that stuff. Add their chasers.
Put it in these nice tins.
Right. They repackage it, market it up, and then add their chaser, their 1 or 2 chasers into these crazy, 10,000 box, 20,000 box print runs, maybe more.
Yeah.
And it's got to be crushing on their end to see see that chaser get pulled and just realize that all of those other boxes still sitting on the shelf are just worthless.
Bye to the value of those.
Oh, no.
So I can only hope that I'm sure they made their money.
I'm sure they did too. Yeah.
But still, that's that it's just insane that those Walmart boxes especially are just so notoriously known for if you see anybody on any card page on Facebook go, should I buy this?
No.
The comments are flooded with no, it's junk. No.
Right, and then you see
here's Underrated Cards out here proving you wrong. Here's Ryan's Cards out here proving you wrong.
Right.
I mean,
hey, someone's got to take the risk.
I'm not here to defend the mystery boxes. I'm just here to rave at how ridiculous it is to some of the cards that come out of these things.
Yeah, it's great for the hobby, right? And that's the reason people buy them, right? And that's the reason you would ever attempt to buy one. But
that was going to be my question to you.
So against you.
Oh yeah, no, the odds are insane. I mean, it's the lottery of the hobby for sure.
Right.
But that was going to be my question to you. To kind of just expand on this a little bit, as it is our last topic here for the episode, is mystery boxes in general. Whether it's these Walmart ones, whether you see them on Whatnot or wherever, do you think that they have a place in the hobby, and not just a place in the hobby, but a positive place in the hobby? Or do you think that at the end of the day, they do a little bit more harm than good?
It really depends. I don't want to say all mystery packs or all mystery repacks are good. All of them are bad, one way or the other.
Sure.
I think there are much more reputable repacks and mystery packs, things like that, than others. Most of them come from reputable companies, reputable dealers, things like that. And then there are the opposite, right? People looking to scam people, essentially.
Sure.
So yeah, I think, I don't want to encompass it all and just say like, yeah, it's good or yeah, it's bad.
It just depends.
I definitely think that a full checklist of what, of every card in the product, right? Just do your research, right? If the value's there, go for it. If it's good stuff and it's liquid, you can move it and you're not going to get crushed, go for it. It's fun. It's fun to get random stuff in. It's fun to get new stuff. You know what I mean?
It's fun to chase a chaser.
It's fun to chase chasers, exactly. But at the same time, like if it's just a blind mystery pack, even if it's a $5 mystery pack, you might as well light your money on fire. You know, like you're not getting anything good. I promise. Like you're just not.
I'll say that in terms of like my mystery pack experience, I don't buy mystery packs on eBay. I just don't. I mean, even if they have pictures of, oh, here are my chasers that you can hit, I just don't do it because I have no idea. There's nothing to show me that this person or this seller is legit in terms of what they're putting into
the chaser and sending you a bunch of random stuff. So.
Whereas there's, some other guys out like Pullwax, for example. They do what they call pull packs, I believe, which is it's incredibly high end for the mystery card.
Exactly.
But they put some ridiculous chasers in those. Right. And they've proven time and time again that you can get a pretty decent return on your value for as much as you're spending on them.
Yep.
And the chasers are legit, and they are obviously one of the most legit breakers in the world. And I think that that's one that you could probably trust if you want to have some fun.
Absolutely.
And you have the money to do so. At the end of the day, it's just like ripping wax, right? Don't go buying a mystery pack expecting to make your money on it. You buy it to have fun. And that's really what people should be thinking about.
You may make some money. You may make some money. You may get lucky. You may hit something big, ripping wax. You may pull the chaser out of your mystery pack, but you can't expect it at the end of the day.
Don't have the expectation. And I think that that's where some people get really upset is, they bought 10 and they just couldn't get it. It happens, man.
Yeah.
Some people rip a whole case and they don't get a decent auto or anything. It just happens. It's just how the hobby rolls sometimes. And, you hate to see it.
Sure. Nobody likes to lose. Yeah.
That's really what I cannot stress to people enough, maybe in terms of if you're thinking about, you saw the Steph Curry pull. Oh, maybe I should go buy one of those. Look.
That was the only Steph Curry.
That's the only one that's in there. So if you see any more boxes at Walmart that got that Steph Curry on it, they didn't put another one in there.
Right. It's not in there. Forget it.
So, but just be aware. I think do your research is a really good tip from Jason here.
Just like anything in the hobby.
In the mystery box game. Absolutely. Do your research on a product before you rip it. Do your research on a mystery pack and the source of it before you go and buy multiple of them and see if the value is even there.
Or see if it's a reputable, reputable seller on eBay. See if it's, have any of these sold.
Do they have
before.
Positive reviews,
Very basic things can save you from a major headache.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, though, they do have a place.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
They do have a place.
They're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. I don't think that, and there's a reason why, is because people have, at the end of the day, benefited from it, just like underrated cards.
Like Pullwax, you know what I mean? If the supplier of the mystery pack can source enough premium inventory at the right price, it's a win-win for both the collector and the seller. So mystery packs are a great way to get cards into the market again. You know what I mean? Like recoup some cash, but at the same time, like if you're trying to rip people off, you're probably not going to be able to run more than one run of mystery packs. You know what I mean?
I agree, because
people
if you
catch
got a
on
bad
to value.
If you get a bad if you're a bad mystery pack seller, you're going to get snuffed out real quick.
That's right.
So, well, that is about it for today on DCI Podcast episode 39. Jason, guys, DCI Slabs are here. They are going to get sent into the mail here in the very, very near future to all of our early submitters. You're going to be able to submit for them at the Dallas Card Show next week. It's happening, Jason. They're hitting the market. It's
$12 slabs, DCIgrading.com.
DCI Slabs are live.
Check them out, guys.
Live in prime time, guys. So make sure you go to DCIgrading.com to learn a little bit more about them. Message us on social media or shoot an email to info@DCIgrading if you want some more information on that. We would be happy to help you with your submission, answer any questions you got, or just come out and see us at the Dallas Card Show next week. See these in person for yourself, guys. They are legit. We're really excited about it. Can't wait to get them in y'all's hands. Any final thoughts, Jason?
Can't wait, man. Be back next week. It's going to be a great episode.
It is going to be a great episode. It'll be episode 40 next week.
That's
but
right.
For today, episode 39 is wrapped up. I'm Grayson Alette. He's Jason Dardick. We'll see you next time.
No problem.